Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Man Behind Ministry podcast. As always, I'm your host, Minister Ryan Smith of the Virgin Street Church, right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Tonight is a very special episode. We are concluding this series that we've done talking to wives and women in ministry. And so, Pref, if you've been tuning in with us, you've had an awesome time just following along with us. As we mentioned, this is our last episode in this spinoff. And we've saved our best guest for last. I'm a little biased. We saved our best guest for last. And that is my beautiful wife, Sister Karen Smith. And so we are blessed to have her.
Hello.
Yeah. So we're blessed to have her on with us. And so this has been a real treat. If you know my wife, she don't do this kind of stuff.
No.
So the fact that we are having this treat tonight is a blessing. So you ready to get into this, babe?
I am.
Awesome. So obviously this episode is drastically different because I'm sitting down with the guest, and so you're obviously not a guest to me,
Right.
but you are a guest to those who are on the show with us. And so for those who may be less familiar with you, kind of tell us about yourself. Tell them who you are.
Well, I guess keeping in the theme of ministry, I am a PK, so we could start there.
Yeah.
Yes, my father is a minister. My grandfather was a minister, so I've been raised in the church.
Yeah.
And then after high school, I went to Southwestern and stayed there for a couple of years. And then I moved and transitioned onto the healthcare field.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were at Red Cross for how many years? You were at Red
I
Cross?
was at Red Cross for 8 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those who are less familiar, you were a phlebotomist, so
Phlebotomist.
I know when we were dating and you first told me, I was like, what is that?
A lot of people do the same thing. Nobody really is familiar unless you're familiar.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So when for you, obviously you are the wife of me, a minister.
Hey.
Right. And so you obviously have spent, as you mentioned, you are a PK, so you are the daughter of a preacher. What's up, Pops? I know you probably tuning in. Hey, Pops, good to see you. Hey, Mom, good to see y'all. So obviously, we just hit a year in our marriage,
Yeah.
April 23rd. So we hit that year mark. Y'all pray for us. It's been a fun ride.
It has.
So with dating and now hitting that year mark as a wife, but also being a wife to the minister, kind of talk to us about, your experience being in that capacity, because everyone's experience is different. We know how it is traditionally, how churches, especially in the Black church, view
Yes.
the minister, his wife, and his family. But kind of tell us about just your brief stance so far, just looking at being the wife of a minister and just how you've kind of carved your own lane in it.
Well, in this very short year, so it has been a short time, so I'm sure that I have many challenges and storms to come.
Mm-hmm.
But in the year that I have been a minister's wife, it's actually been, it hasn't been as bad as I thought or expected.
Yeah.
The church has really welcomed me, the leaders here, and I think we have you to thank for that, because you kind of set the precedent of how things should go and what is expected of me and what shouldn't be expected of me. And
Right.
so I think that really made a difference in me coming here. But also everyone here has been awesome too. So it's just like, it's been a good experience. There are some challenges, but it's just kind of like the things to be expected, like sharing you with everybody.
Yeah.
But with prayer and prayer, I think that just that makes it better.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of sharing involved. You've watched a number of the episodes, a lot of the recordings, and I always ask that question about like balance. Like, ask me like, how do you balance, right? And so it's just having that moment of transparency, it's definitely been a challenge for really both of us. And then now having a daughter and adding that to the mix. So it's definitely been a challenge, and just kind of kudos to all those who came before, men and women. It's something that you constantly just have to work on.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So what we're saying is we don't have it all together. We're still trying to figure it out.
Definitely prayer.
Yes.
Yeah. But my parents also did a good job in showing me how things should go.
Mm-hmm.
My mom being a minister's wife, I just kind of looked at her, even though this was not what I wanted, and she told me not to do it. And she said, you didn't listen to me. And I was like, I didn't want this, but I don't know what happened. It was just God. But she did a good job in showing me, what to do and how to be. So yeah, I think that was important and helpful. Yeah.
And you mentioned, not only did you not, want to be in this capacity, but your mom also didn't either.
Right.
And so it's just amazing how
crazy.
The apple did not fall far from the tree at all.
Right. My mom said she was not marrying a minister, and I said the same thing, and here we are, 2 ministers' wives.
Hey, if you don't get anything else from this episode, get you a man of God. Your life is that much better.
It's been good. But yes, we have lots to go. So, but I'm prayerful that it's going to be a good.
Nice. Stepping outside of ministry, just you personally, one of the beautiful things that I am blessed to partake in is your masterful ability to bake sweets and treats and things of that nature. And so I remember you telling me about that. I just love, when we were talking about marriage and, as they say, when you are looking for a mate, you naturally, and I think subconsciously, you find someone that's like your parent. So for me, finding someone like my mom, she was the family cook. She learned from her mom, from her grandmother. And I was like, okay, if I have me a wife, she didn't know how to cook. And so that was one of the prerequisites. And so, before mom passed, you definitely checked that box. And she was okay, I got somebody that's going to cook and take care of.
I remember I brought a cake, and she was like, what? Karen knows how to bake? I was like, yes, I won. I'm in.
Definitely were. And so talk to us about just your previous experience in baking. And I know we kind of trying to push you to kind of step back out there.
Yeah. So it started from, being a little girl, and I loved sweets. I always I would even go and sneak sweets. I would bite out of every piece of chocolate and candy that my mom had in her room.
Yeah.
And then they would come in and be like, who bit into all the pieces of chocolate?
And didn't finish them.
Right. I only finished the ones that I liked. So, you get those boxes of candies with all the different flavors. And so I bit into every one, and clearly I only ate the ones that I enjoyed. But my family would tease me of how much I really love sweets. And I'm really trying to work on it, though, now. As an adult, as almost 35, it's like, I can't be addicted to sweets like I am.
And I'm definitely not helping the cause at all.
It's like, if I'm making sweets, if I'm not making sweets, then he's going to make the sweets. And I'm like, gosh, I wasn't going to have sweets tonight, but since he made it.
Might as well go ahead and indulge.
Might as well indulge. But yes, at family, so what started the business was at family events, I would just bring my famous double chocolate chip cake. And everybody just loved it. And so then after that, with events and stuff like that, people were like, oh, Karen's bringing the cake, Karen's bringing the cake. It wasn't even like asking me. It wasn't like, oh, can you? It was just like, okay, we know what Karen's bringing.
Yeah, it was we're telling you what you're bringing. This is what we want. Okay, it's not a choice, not an option.
People would even say, I'll pay for the ingredients for you to bring that cake. So I was like, okay. So I started bringing that cake, and then I was like, this is, becoming a real thing. So I was like, why not make some money, while doing it? So I had the business for a few years. I kind of stopped once my sister had passed away. So I just kind of didn't feel like baking anymore.
Yeah.
And then I moved a couple different times. So I was like, it wasn't realistic to keep up that business if I was going to be moving around a lot, and I couldn't be stationed. But now that I am, in one spot and I am here for a while, then I was like, you know what, I might go ahead and start up KK's Sweet Delights again and see how it goes in Tulsa.
Nice. Yeah, so for those who are tuning in, we'll definitely have all this information in the description. So if you want to get, your delight from KK, hey, definitely put in your order. I'm gonna put this out there too. Be patient, okay? We do have a baby. That's all.
Right. Yeah, that's what stopped it now.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, I really want to get back into it because it is a passion that I have. I love sweets. I love making other people feel good with the sweets. So it's just like, yeah, I want to really make time for that.
Yeah, good stuff. Also, sticking with your personal life, not only are you masterful at baking, you also recently launched your own YouTube channel, kind of diving into, content creation. Kind of tell us about what kind of drove that.
I love, watching YouTube. A lot of influential content creators on there. And so I've watched over the years, and I've just seen how other people do. And so I was like, you know what? I think I can do that. I feel like it's a good hobby.
Yeah.
Something that I can have fun with, but also if it gets to that, make a little money on the side. I'm like, if it makes some money, then that would be great too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just, I love watching YouTube, and I was like, I feel like I can do that too. And I would have fun doing it. So yeah, it's a good hobby that I picked up, but want to turn it into something more, preferably.
Yeah. Definitely excited to see where that goes. And that's just the beauty of just modern day ministry. And like, who would have thought either of us would be in these situations and dynamics that we're in, but hey, here we are.
And yeah, you inspired me to get on YouTube. For many years, I'm like, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel. And finally, I had told Ryan, I want to start a YouTube channel, and he was like, you should do it. I was like, oh, really? It's like, at first it's just been words and words that I'm saying, but then he's like really holding me to it. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm going to start a YouTube channel. And since he's been on YouTube, it's really been a good inspiration.
Yeah. And I think what pushed me to push you was I can't remember what the encouragement what the avenue was, but I was reading up about just healthy marriages, and they were saying a healthy marriage, a healthy partner, husband or wife, is not where your dreams are supported, but support someone else's dreams. And so like really be in tune with what this person does all the time, what they're interested in, or just, hey, like I said, in your mind, you watch YouTube all the time. You have plenty of influencers. I mean, I'm watching it with you now. And so, but I was like, hey, you can do this.
Yeah, I think that really helped me, because sometimes you get down on yourself like, oh, I can't do it, or I'm probably not going to be good enough, or no one's going to watch me. And then, you come and you're like, yeah, you can do it. And I'm like, oh, I can. Like, that's why God puts people in your path, to help you to see the good in yourself that you, that you can't see. So yeah, I'm grateful.
Definitely. And so it's, as we mentioned, another shameless plug. We'll have all the links to the channel, everything in there. Again, it's Modern Day Ministry. I don't mind supporting and pushing my wife. So we'll put that information out there as well. So definitely support the channel, support my baby. Indeed. Also, when you look at this platform, what we're doing with this, number one, it's just great to sit down with you. I mean, you know, to kind of get out of the grind of working, you know, being in home with baby girl, taking care of the house, all that kind of stuff. And so it's good to get out of that, even though, yeah, we're in the sanctuary, but this is a whole different thing that we're doing, you know? So, but even though we mentioned earlier, you've kind of have a short stint with personal experience, being the wife of a minister, but as you mentioned, you grew up in this. And so, your perspective has helped me personally to look at ministry from a different angle, you know, things that, you know, you know, did at home, or you watched your mom, or you watched your, you know, your father do, and kind of bringing some of those ideas, you know, here to Oklahoma, here in Tulsa. And so it's kind of been a really, really refreshing, if you will, you know, to my life, to my ministry, and just to the congregation. And so, I just being transparent, there are some members who have a better relationship with you than do me.
They love me better. I'm just kidding.
And that's okay. I mean, that's the beauty. You know, what I've found is that, you know, as the scripture says, if you want to go biblical, when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing, you know? So, yeah, so she's definitely my good thing. But practically, you just have a perspective of wholeness, you know, to where, okay, hey, if I'm not reachable, then, you know, they're able to reach you, you know? And so it's just a beautiful partnership, a beautiful relationship. It's a beautiful marriage. You know, like I said, we're not perfect, but, you know, we're striving to be as best as we can be. And so there may be some other, you know, young women who are in the same situation as you, getting ready to step into the situation like you are, or some who are aspiring to be, because believe it or not, you encourage people.
Yeah.
You really do. Believe it or not, you have an influence. You may be reserved, you may be quiet, but you do have an influence. You know, you don't know some of the other young ladies or some of the other little girls that are here that would never say it to you, but they look up to you.
Yeah.
And so what's some advice that you could give just to kind of encourage women who are in ministry in various capacities?
I would just say try not to feel pressured to be, you know, someone that you're not. And, you know, find your niche, what works for you in ministry, and be great at that. And don't let anyone, you know, deter you from that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, that's good. That's good. 'Cause I love it. You, in a way, you've kind of carved your own lane. Like, you know, traditionally the minister's wife has to do everything, you know, and as you mentioned, you know, I definitely wanted to do my best to kind of pave a lane for you to, number one, be comfortable.
Right.
But then two, to have a space where, okay, you have the spiritual freedom to do what you want to do. I've mentioned it in previous episodes. One of my good friends in your area in California, Brother Faye Haygood, he said, you know, we look at the wife, particularly the wife of a minister, she has two jobs. Number one, that's love God. Number two is love me. And anything other than that is optional, you know? And so I love it. And just some of the things you've done, just in this step that you've got going on. Back in February, we had our inaugural Galentine's Day, and that was a lot of fun. And so good. Yeah. Kind of talk to us about that, and what was that experience like?
It was nice. I don't know where I just had this idea. And I think I was telling the ladies that maybe it was because my sister passing was in the back of my mind. She passed in February on the 10th, and it was so close to Valentine's Day.
Right.
And so, of course, I remember it. And I think in the back of my mind, I subconsciously just made up this sisterhood of Galentines and having a brunch. And we had such a good time. But I don't really know. And I probably just God. I can just say that it was probably just God putting in my head to move forward with these events that, you know, I'm aspiring to do and have done. And yeah, it's been a good time.
Yeah, sometimes you really just can't describe it. It's just it's God, like you said.
Right.
One of our good friends, Vince Ford, when I was interviewing him a few months ago earlier in the podcast, he had mentioned how, you know, the man, you know, the minister, he sets the tone, but you know, the wife, she and the mother, she sets the culture, you know, of the congregation. And so I think, you know, you along with those who are supporting you and the ladies ministry, you know, we can, you know, growth is because of God ultimately. But I honestly just, when I look at it, you know, a lot of growth that we're experiencing is because of you. You know, it is because of you. It is because of the events that you and the women are putting together. And so, because, I mean, think about it practically. The majority of, in your average congregation, the majority of membership is women.
Right.
And so,
yeah,
if you take care of the women and you take care of the kids,
yeah,
you know, you're typically going to have a healthy congregation. So, kudos to you, and yeah, for the time that you have spent. And I know it's only going to get better.
Yeah, I agree. I wasn't sure where I should be. And of course, God came in and showed me exactly what I should do and where I should be, because I just had a baby. So it was like, I don't want to rush into something, like,
right.
Give me time, you know, to adjust to being here, being a minister's wife. So being new to the congregation, being a minister's wife, and then having a baby, it was a lot. So I felt like I didn't want to be pushed into something, you know, and not really know where I was supposed to be.
Right.
But of course, God showed me, and he's been showing me. And I think also me being a stay-at-home mom, it helped me have more time. One, to think of these things, like, okay, what am I going to do? What are we going to do in the next couple of months? How are we going to get together? And I can, you know, I text some of the sisters or call some of the sisters that are retired, or, you know, and then that, just having that time. So I know that God is the one who, you know, is over that. And yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, as am I. Extremely happy. We appreciate you just for taking time away from the house. We appreciate our church family who are watching Nugget right now and giving us the time to come together and put this together. And so, you know who you are. We appreciate you so much. Again, we thank you, Karen. Thank you, baby, for coming on with us. Yeah. And so it's been fun. Again, this was a lot of fun because, as we mentioned, you're not a guest to me, but you're a guest to everyone that's viewing. And so we appreciate you taking the time with us.
Yeah.
That concludes us here. Lastly, before we go, we always have an opportunity to just share, you know, people are looking for you on social media now. We mentioned the back-end business. We mentioned the YouTube channel. How can the people find you on social media?
So as far as Facebook, I'm just Karen Smith, Ryan's wife. I don't really even have many friends, but now I have lots of friends because Ryan.
Stop it.
Yes, because I wasn't really on Facebook much, but then I'm getting friend requests like, oh, okay. Oh, it's because I'm Ryan's wife. That's why. He's very popular. Stop. And I like to kind of stay in the back, but I'm doing better. But Facebook, Karen Smith. You can find me through Ryan Smith's page, or Instagram, Karen_Smith 723. And yeah, that's probably where I'll be posting most of my YouTube channel stuff.
Yeah. Good. Love it. That concludes us here if you've been blessed by this episode, talking about content creation, we're on YouTube. Don't be afraid to like it. Don't be afraid to share this. This is a ministry. I know we just sitting down chopping it up, but it's definitely a ministry. We pray that someone's been blessed and benefited by this exchange. And so share it with someone, bless somebody else with this time that Baby and I have shared together, the lovely Sister Karen Smith. Remember, we do this every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And so until the next episode, we'll see you then. God bless you. God keep you. Peace. You ain't gonna do it.
No. That's not my thing.
We'll see y'all.